What's up, everyone? I just want to give an update on the vlogs. Thank you for all the support so far for everyone that's been watching. I met someone at 52 actually today that recognized me from the vlogs, which was really cool. And they had questions for me, hand histories and stuff. And I'm no pro by any means, and I think I'm an amateur player, but I've been playing 3-4 years, and I've been playing the game since 8th grade, but taking it seriously for the past 2-3 years. So I think it's super cool that there's people out there that watch the vlog or are in Houston and then recognize me and then ask me questions of how they would play a hand or if they think they should do something differently. And like I said, by no means I'm an amateur player. I'm no professional. I just think it's very humbling, and I really want to thank everyone out there that's watching. I did want to say that I will be starting my job because I'm an engineer. But I'm going to be starting my job up again Monday. What is it, October 3rd, 4th, 5th? October 5th. So the vlogs are going to be coming out less. I'll probably try to fit in a session every weekend, maybe like Saturday or something, but I'm not so sure that the vlogs are going to continually be pumped out. But I do want to take this time to thank everyone that's been watching and continue support, and just want to update you guys that I will probably not be playing as much. So footage is probably going to come less often than not, but yeah, that's it. That's the update, and I hope you guys enjoy this vlog episode. What's up, everyone? Hope everyone's doing good today. We're back at 52 Social Poker Club. We're going to be doing a pretty long session today. We got here at 10 a.m. right now, and we're probably going to be playing till like 5 p.m., 6 p.m. We have to deal a tournament at 6 p.m., so I'm going to be playing the whole time, 10 to 5:30 almost, so 7.5 hours, give or take. Yeah, let's run it up, have a good session, and then hopefully post this for YouTube. See you guys inside. So I wanted to include these first few speed run hands in the vlog just to show how light and soft this table plays. It's a bunch of regulars that I played with before. Only seat 8 is 8-handed. So the guy next to the right of the dealer. Only seat 8 is the one that kind of gets out of line and will call light and show bluffs or bet bluffs. Everyone else is pretty straightforward tight, so it's really easy to pre-flop raise, have some callers and stragglers come along, and then c-bet and take it down. So that's what we do in a lot of the hands. So I just want to show these first 3 hands as an example where we either pre-flop take it down or we just make a thin value bet or small value bet on the flop, even if we don't hit, and we take down the pots pretty easily. So in our first actual hand, we're in the button with Queen 2 of clubs, otherwise known as Israeli Ron. The hijack limps, we limp on the button, and the small blind completes, and big blind checks it. So we go 4 ways to flop limp pot of ace 3 deuce with 2 clubs and a heart. So pretty good flop. We flop bottom pair with the queen high flush draw. So the hijack leads out for $15 when it checks to him. And I think we have an easy call here with the queen high flush draw and the pair deuce. The turn binks it for us, so we hit the 8 of clubs. The hijack bets $20, and we have an easy call here. Like I said, this guy is the only one that's willing to bluff and also call really light. We're also known as a pretty aggro player, so on the 4 of spades, when he checks us, we bet 60 into 82, and he counts out his chips and calls, and our queen high flush is good. This next hand's pretty interesting. We're on the button with Jack 10 offsuit. The hijack limps $3. The cutoff, who's a reasonably tight player, makes it $16. We have a call here with Jack 10 off on the button. We're in position and it plays pretty well post flop. Small blind also calls, big blind hijack fold. So we go 3 ways to a flop. It comes Jack 4 8, Jack 4 being hearts and 8 being spades. So we flop top pair. The small blind checks it, and the cutoff C bets for $35. I think we have an easy call here with top pair. We can reevaluate on turns, and yeah, I mean, we have top pair. I don't think we're folding to one bet here, one C bet. Small blind, weirdly enough, calls as well, so he's probably on a flush draw. Turn comes to 3 of diamonds. Small blind checks again. Cutoff actually raises, or sorry, bets for $100. He's a really tight player, so I wanted to put him on queens or better at this point. So I ended up just folding $100. It's a pretty strong bet, almost pot size. Small blind tanks for a bit and then ends up making the call. River comes a queen of spades, so hard draw bricks, and then I mean one straight gets there, but anyways, the small blind checks and the cutoff goes all in for around $200. Small blind tanks for not too long and then makes the call, and has queen 9 of hearts, I believe. Yeah, queen 9 of hearts, and the cutoff had ace king of hearts. So one guy had the nut flush draw and then just tried to bluff on the river, and the small blind had the gutter with a flush draw and just ends up hitting his queen on the river. So we were good all the way until the river. Our assessment was right of the small blind having a flush draw, check calling. But yeah, we make a decent fold, I guess. I guess being results oriented, but what can you do in that spot?
So we're up about like $100. We've been playing for only like 30 minutes, and we're up like $100 or so. I just wanted to take this time after you saw the hand. That guy usually plays tight, but other than that, we'll go over that hand in the vlog. But I'm thinking, because it's such a long session, like 6-7 hours, we're gonna do like 1 or 2 hand highlights per hour, so we don't overload you guys with content. So should be a 14-16 minute video, I think, if we do 2 hands per hour. Basically highlights. I don't want to do the whole 6-hour session, otherwise the video is going to be 30 minutes long, 40 minutes long. So yeah, that's all I wanted to say. Quick 30-minute update.
So in this next hand, we're going to be against a supposedly tight player, or we label him as a tight player, so I guess he's opening his range up today. But anyways, we limp this hand. We have big lick, 6-9 of diamonds. We want to get splashy with it. This one's for the vlog. So we limp it, and 5 other players limp it, and the big blind checks it. So we go 6 ways to a flop, which comes 5, 3, deuce, rainbow. We have the gutter ball to the 6 high straight with a 4. The small blind leads out for $15 immediately. The low jack, supposedly tight player, calls, and I think we have an easy float here. Turn comes a jack, small blind and low jack checks us. We're going to try to steal the pot here. We bet $75 into the pot, and the small blind, as expected, folds, and the low jack surprisingly calls. So I think he has a strong hand here, but after what he did last hand with the ace king high bluff, I'm not so sure anymore. So the river comes a 6, so we pair up our 6s. When he checks us, we're going to turn our pair of 6s into a semi bluff, and we're going to bet $100 into the pot, making it look like we're going for value. The low jack does in fact think for a while before making the fold, so we're happy to take that pot down. So in this immediate next hand, we have big slick in the low jack, suited big slick of hearts. We open for $15 and only the hijack calls us, so we go heads up to a flop, which comes jack 9-5 rainbow. We c-bet for $25 into $34 pot, and the hijack calls us. The turn brings an 8 of hearts, completing the rainbow. We check it to the hijack, and he checks it back. There's no reason to continue betting on a board where we don't have any equity. So on the turn, we just check it, and he checks it back. We'll take a free card. The free card comes ace of clubs, which is perfect for us. We are now beating any jack X hand that he could have called with on the flop. So we bet $60 into the $84 pot, trying to target any non-believing jack X hands. And crying calls, but sadly enough, the hijack folds, and we take down the pot. Next hand, we're in the small blind. The button straddle's on. We make it $16. The cutoff makes it $60, and the button folds. So when it gets back to us, I think we have a pretty strong hand enough here to call the 3 bet. We can merit a fold here, or there is merit to a fold, but I think we're pretty strong against the specific player that bet. He's been playing pretty loose aggressive. I think he hasn't been hitting his hand, so he's kind of not fully on tilt, but a bit tilted. So we make the call, go heads up to a flop, which comes Jack 8-5, completely rainbow, top for us. We check it to him and let him continue to c-bet as the aggressor, which he does. He bets $100 into the 129. This is a pretty strong bet, but it basically screams that he has an overpair or nothing at all. So we make the call here. The turn comes a 9. We check it again to him. I think we can lead here to protect our hand in case he does check back, but we don't. And when we check to him, he does in fact check it back. So I think we should be betting on that turn. River comes a 4. I check it, just trying to pot control at this point, and we're gonna be ready to check call any bet he does. So he immediately fires $200 into the 329 pot. We snap it off, and he mucks, so we don't have to show our hand. Nice pot to take down where we don't have to show our hand. So in this hand, we're in the low jack with ace-3 of clubs. We open for $15 when it gets to us. The button calls and the big blind calls, so we go 3 ways to flop, which comes 3, 8, jack, all diamonds. So we hit bottom pair on this board. We're going to c-bet most of the time here. So when the big blind checks us, we bet 25 c-bet, and the button calls and the big blind fold, so heads up to a turn, which comes a pretty good card. It's ace of hearts, so now we have aces up. It's unlikely that he flopped a flush. It's really hard to flop a flush, and if he has it, he has it. So we're going to bet $50 into the $96 pot, and he's going to call us. The river comes a queen of spades, so basically a blank for us. So we bet $100 into the 196, basically 50% pot, trying to charge any non-believing hand that believes that we might be bluffing with a 1 diamond draw or anything like that. So he does tank for a while and ends up making the reluctant call, and our aces with 3s is good. In this next hand that we're covering, we get involved with the same guy that we just beat with aces and 3s. We are in the big blind with queen 4 suited, spades. The +2 button, small blind limp, and we just have an easy check here. The flop comes ace 7 deuce, 2 spades. Pretty good flop for us from the big blind. It checks to the undergun +2, who bets $15. We have an easy call here when it gets back to us with the queen high flush draw. The turn comes a 10. I check it, and the undergun +2 bets 65. So this is a pretty big overbet of 65 into 42. It basically screams like some type of ace X hand, maybe 2 pair even. That's trying to protect his hand from the flush draw. So 65 into 42. It feels like ace is up or some type of set, maybe deuces or 7. So I think we can get paid if we do hit our spade on the river. So we do make the call. It's a huge overcall, but we do make it. The river comes the 8 of spades, which is what we wanted. So out of position, we basically jam him all in for $300, $200, $300 more, and he ends up tank calling with the set of deuces. So bad spot for him, unlucky that the way it ran out, but we got the expected and intended results that we wanted and got paid off in it. So in this next hand, we're against the same player that we just stacked. We have king jack off in the hijack. We make it $15. Him in the small blind, min clicks it basically to $36. I think king jack is a callable hand because this is such a small min 3-bet. We can always reevaluate on flops, king high flops. It should be pretty transparent if he has a strong king, king queen, ace king, even aces. It should be pretty transparent depending on the way his action plays on the flop. So we do in fact call, and we go heads up to a flop, which comes king jack 9, 2 clubs. I accidentally check it out of turn thinking that I was first to act, because in this spot, if I was first to act, I would want him to continue betting, and then I would just check call this spot. but I do accidentally check, and he sees this and checks. So I'm worried that if I do bet here, he's just going to fold right away because I showed too much strength in wanting the check and then betting instead. So I just check it back to him. I think I should be betting here when he checks to me, but it is what it is. Turn comes the queen of spades. When he does check to me this time, I do go for a protection / value bet of $30.75. If he check raises us, then we're in a weird spot where we might have to reevaluate and flat and then reevaluate the river, but we don't have to worry about that because he just flats our $30 bet. The river comes a jack of diamonds, and he ends up just jamming it on us, and we have a snap call. We just show the king jack, jack's full of kings, and he mucks his hand and we take down the pot, so easy win. I just wanted to put this hand in the log just to show how overbets, you can really take advantage of overbets to take down dead money in the pot. We are in the cutoff with king, queen, offsuit, +2 limps, hijack limps. We make it $20. The big blind and the undergun +2 call, hijack folds. So we go 3 ways to flop of 9, 8, deuce, rainbow. Big blind and +2 check to us, so us in position. We bet $80 into 67, over betting the pot, and all players fold. Just taking advantage of playing big and position. You can just really take down a lot of dead money in the pots and chip up. And obviously we're running hot too, so it helps having a pretty strong image. But yeah.
Alright, 2-hour session updated. It's noon right now. We're probably up 1,000, 1,200 or something. We still got 4 or 5 hours of poker to go. So yeah, let's just keep this hot streak up. Maybe we'll cash out 2,000 profit by the end of it. But we're just running hot. We're hitting all our rivers. We're hitting all our draws. So up 1,200 within 2 hours. Let's get back to the table.
So in this hand, we have A7 of diamonds in the cutoff, I believe. The undergun makes it $15. We have an easy call here with the suited ace. The small blind calls and big blind folds, so we go 3 ways to flop. It comes ace 9 6 with 2 spades. Pretty decent flop for us. We can obviously be outkicked by a better ace, but what can you do? The players check to us. We bet $30, and both the small blind and under the gun call. So weird line for them both to check to us and then end up calling. Turn comes a 7, so we have aces up again. The small blind undergun check to us. We bet 75 into 138, trying to charge straight draws and flush draws. The small blind goes all in for less, $55, and the under the gun also goes all in for $215. So it's kind of a shitty spot. There's a gutter ball that gets there from the flop, but there's no flush, obviously. There'd be flush draws that'd be drawing. I don't know. It's hard for people to have a set. It is likely because he's under the gun opener, right? So he could have 6s, 7s, which we do block, or 9s. We do make the call pretty quickly. The small blind has ace deuce of spades for a pair of aces with the flush draw, and the under the gun has 10-8 offsuit. So not the hand you'd think he'd be opening with under the gun, but it is what it is. We do decide to run it twice, and both boards river a jack, so we lose about $300 in that hand, but what can you do? I think if we think about it, logically, under the gun could have sets in that spot, not the 7s, but he could have 9s or 6s. It's hard for him to have anything else that really beats us, so I don't hate the call, but I do think we can find a fold here when he jams 140 more to us. So we have the Jack 6 of hearts in our next hand with the button shut on. We're in the button. This hand is also known as the Roberto in our home games because he somehow wins with fucking Jack 6 every time. But anyways, the low jack and cutoff limp, we check it. The low jack in this hand is kind of a crazy player. He's been betting really aggressively on almost every single hand he's played. He has not checked it. He literally has a 0% check frequency.
You know you can check
So
it,
he
right?
always bets when it's his action.
There's an option to check.
Anyways,
It's where
we
we
go
see
three
the
ways to
next
flop,
card,
which
we don't do
comes
anything.
King 10-9. So we have a gutter
don't
ball.
bet.
The low jack makes it 15. I think we can peel one time here. So when the cutoff folds to us, we call one time,
right here.
and our one time comes with the queen. So we hit our gutter ball.
Uh-oh.
Only ace jack is beating us now.
You don't mind.
And the low jack bets $30. I tell him he has the option to check, but he in fact does not listen, bets, and we have an easy call here. On the king river, the low jack also fires $60. We don't want to raise here in case he does have ace jack or some king X hand that filled up. So we do flat here. I know you can merit a raise and try to go for max value to charge king X's that aren't boats. But we don't want to get into a spot where we raise and then he jams for a lot more. So we do just flat with our king high straight, and he shows us ace queen.
I call.
So like I said, it'd be really hard to get more value from this hand. It'd have to be like a min click or even 3 times if anything at all. But I think a flat here is fine a lot of the time. So we do flat and we take down the pot. Alright, in this next hand, we wake up at pocket aces. So the button shadow's on in his hand. We're in the big blind with pocket aces. The small blind limps the $6. We're not going to let anyone in for cheap, especially with so many people behind us. So we pop it up to $25. Under the gun +1 calls, and button shadow folds, small blind calls. So we go 3 ways to a flop. It comes 5-5 king. Pretty good flop for us. We want other people to have the king X hand so we can get paid off. The small blind actually opens for $40 into $75 pot or $81 pot, about 50%. We have an easy flat here. We want the under the gun +1 to come along if he has a king, and we want the small blind to continue with if he has a king or continue bluffing if he doesn't. So we make the flat here. The under the gun +1, who is that relatively tight player earlier on in the vlog that I said was tight, that smacked us around or got us off our Jack 10 hand with the Ace King of Hearts. That relatively tight player bets up to $200. He has $300 to $400 behind. I hope he has some King X hand, Ace King, King Queen, and he's just trying to protect his hand from draws. So if it's going in, it's going in now. So I jam for the rest of his stack, and he says, if you got it, you got it, and snap calls. He ends up having 5-6 of spades suited, so not a fun one to be in. We run it straight one time, and he gets us good. Like I said, it's just a bad spot because he's a relatively tight player, and when he raises us to $200, I guess we have to assume we're beat by some 5x hand. But it's just, what kind of 5 does he have under the gun +1 where he's calling $25 pre, aside from, I guess, 5-6 suited. So just an ugly spot to be in, and we lose about $500 in that hand. So the last hand that I want to cover for the vlog is a fun one. We're going to represent 52 in this one and play the 5 deuce offsuit. We're in the hijack. We make it $15. The small blind and big blind call. So we go 3 ways to flop, which comes 5-4-3. Decent flop for us. We're open-ended with top pair. The big blind, when it gets checked to him, leads out for $40. This is that same guy that opened with 10-8 offsuit in the hand that we got stacked, or that we doubled him up on with A7. So he could be barreling with any 2 cards, to be honest. We have an easy call here with top pair open-ended. The small blind, when it gets back to him, actually raises to 140, so $100 more to call and continues to turn. Big blind tanks for a while, ends up making the call for 100 more, and I think for that price, 100 to win almost 300, 400. We have an easy call with open-ended if our 5's not good, so we do in fact make the call. I could be wrong with my value here, but we do make the call. The turn comes an ace. 2 clubs on the board right now, so the small blind leads for $300. Now that we have the straight, the wheel, we have an easy call when the big blind folds to us, so we go heads up. The river is an interesting card. It brings a 6 of clubs, so Deuce 7 is there, 7-8 is there, which would be a gut shot, but 7-8 is super unlikely. Deuce 7 is pretty unlikely as well. They shouldn't be check raising 140 on that flop. They could be, but I don't think they'd be calling $15 pre. So the small blind does check to us, and I think I can bet him off his hand if he has another deuce. If there's, chop outs. So when he checks us, we do jam all in, trying to basically get any chop outs out of the pot. He tanks for a really long time, and I'm just going to let you guys hear the conversation, but yeah, enjoy the show.
All in.
Fucking flop that shit.
Oh my god. You call, we chop. You call, we chop. I show you one. You call, we chop.
So at this point in the video recording, he had shown us ace deuce. He flopped the wheel. So because of that, I was like, you know what? You showed me 2 cards, I'll show you one. So I showed the deuce of clubs, which really scares him because there's 3 clubs on the board. So we could have, turned the wheel and then been free rolling a flush draw to go to the river. So he's in a really bad spot now, and he has to make a decision.
Wheel, the whole. And put all in. The wheel going to put all in here. And you throw one of those clubs. Okay?
I told you, we chop. Alright, we're gonna do a mid-session update. It's 2:30 right now. We have 3 more hours of playing. We've been here for 4 hours. Oh my god, my neck. We punted it off with aces. We got too trigger happy, and I don't know. Trigger happy, and there should have been that 5 in his range on the 5-6 hand. When we pre-flop it to 25, and that guy's a relatively tight player, so he shouldn't have a 5 there. So he lost $500 that hand. We just won it back, with that 5 deuce hand that you probably saw. Instead of a chop, we ended up scooping the $400. He showed his ace deuce, and then we showed the deuce of clubs when he did that. So it's just a 6 spot for him to be in. It would have been a chop, and I was talking my ass off. So take that pot down. We're back to where we started before losing with the aces hand. So yep. Alright, so we're done for now. It's 3:10, so we still have like 2 hours and 20 minutes before we hit the deal, but the table started buying in real deep, like $3,000, $4,000, and I'm gonna be honest, like my bankroll isn't comfortable with that, so it's better to take a win, right, and then get off the table when you're feeling uncomfortable. So I walked out into the game for 1,100, out of the game for 2,486, so we book a profit of 1,486, and yeah, like there's no point in, if I'm uncomfortable playing a game that's super deep for me, because I'm just gonna get put in weird spots or blast off, punt off money. So we're gonna take our win. We might come back later, play for an hour before we have the deal, but other than that, yeah, happy with this win. Until next time, guys, see ya. So we came back after eating food. We played for an hour and a half. Yeah, almost an hour and a half. We have the deal now, but we lost $90 in the hour and a half. Not a big deal after winning so much. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed the vlog. Until next time, peace.